What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the same channel, different name. Um, I rebranded a little bit to kind of consolidate all the stuff that I was doing together. Still the Stream Mini things, but focusing more on my miniature brand, which is Wheelers Minis, which if you haven't heard of, you can go check out at www.wheelersminis.com. I would appreciate it. See what's in stock, see if commission slots are available. However, along the same lines of minis, today we are unboxing and doing another brick of the Wizkids pre-painted sets. Today's set is one that I have been so excited for since I heard it was coming out, with some extra special bonus pieces. I got some extra small, well, not very small, but I got some extra premium miniatures that we'll be reviewing as well today. So sit back, relax. I hope you guys enjoy this next episode of Brick by Brick. All right, so I didn't say it beforehand, and it's not any surprise for those of you who are probably watching this, but the next set is Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. I've been super excited about this set. I have a, let me turn the music on. I have a giant theme campaign going on right now that's a homebrew, so I'm really excited to see some of these. If you haven't watched an episode of Brick by Brick before, what I do is I go over each of the boxes. I let you know what we get. I usually start with the lighter boxes first and then the heavier boxes. That's what we're going to do, same as always, today. And then at the end of it, we're going to go over some of the premium figures that also came along with this set that are sold separately, specifically a set of giants and giantkin, and then the death giant that was also available. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it with our first box. And I'm not sponsored. I buy all of these bricks on my own. I just like the minis and I like having access to things. So this is my honest review. I also, as you can probably tell from behind me, paint and print a lot of my own things. So I give it my review based off of what I know I'm able to do, with obviously understanding leniency to the fact that this is a company that has to mass produce these. So I will give you my honest opinion on paint job, and at the end I'll let you know what I'm most excited for, least excited for, best paint job, worst paint job, and what I think is going to be fun to create a encounter around is usually what I go through. So we're going to start with our first box here. Now, most of the minis are going to, most boxes that you get from Wizkids are going to be a grouping of 3, possibly 4 medium to small or tiny creatures, and then 1 large or huge mini. In this case, huge because we're dealing with giants. But I go through the smaller ones first and then get to the larger ones. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first of 8 boxes, which is how many comes in a brick. Start probably with the smallest one first, and then work our way up from there. I was really excited about the set because it is giving me obviously things that I don't have, but also just to look like it was going to be a good set. So first up, we have number 17 of 42, the giant poisonous snake. I love snakes. I have 4 that are like real snakes, not miniatures. And this is very, very well done. First and foremost, the paint job is gorgeous. For such a small miniature, it has really, really great detail. Also, it's small, but a detail that I do appreciate is the head. For those of you who don't know, many poisonous, or in this case venomous snakes, have larger jowls because it's where their poison glands are, and this snake has that kind of telltale typical triangular shaped head that goes along with many venomous snakes, such as vipers, or other sorts of creatures like that. Not all snakes that are venomous have that typical head, but it is a small detail that I appreciate, especially with the vibrancy of color, and the spots on the back giving it kind of a viper look is very, very nice. So great mini, wild shape possibility, which is really, really awesome. But yeah, number 17 of 42 is a giant poisonous snake, and definitely a need for anyone who has a druid at their table. So all right, next up we have, we'll do this one. Next up we have number 5 of 42, which is just a bugbear, just a typical bugbear. The sculpt is pretty nice on this. The paint job is all right. It leaves a bit to be desired, but it's not horrible. It's definitely not the worst that we've seen on Brick by Brick. I do appreciate the some of the details on the face. They're very nice, but I would have loved just a little bit more on the painting. But as it is, it's a great bugbear mini. It's definitely going to be able to be used in lower level campaigns, higher level campaigns, really whatever you want, as long as it has a hobgoblin in it, or sorry, a bugbear. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, it's a great mini. It could be used as a PC or an NPC, just depending on what you've got going on. But a great common. That's what I try to look for in buying the sets, is if they're going to have a lot of commons that are going to be able to be used at a table, because IDM 7 people and you're most likely going to get multiples of commons, and one bugbear is not going to be much against 7 players. So being able to have a couple of these hopefully will be very nice. But that's number 5 of 42, the bugbear. Our last medium of this set, I said I was getting ahead of myself because I was. This is number 10 of 42, the Hobgoblin. Now this one looks really, really good. I like the paint job on it. The face is definitely a little wonky, but again, when you're mass producing stuff like this, you don't tend to get perfection, and that's okay. You kind of get what you pay for. And as I've said many a time, as time has gone on, Wizkids definitely has gotten better at painting and getting whoever it is that paints their product more skilled, because they've just been getting better and better as time goes on. Some sets are better than others, and I'm sure some bricks are going to be better than others, just depending on who painted what that day or what have you. So it's a great mini. Again, one of those things where it's still in the common range, which is really nice. And really fun, especially with the Shattered Obelisk coming up, the kind of expansion story to Lost Mine of Phandelver, that I know deals a lot with like goblins and bugbears and things like that. So super excited to have a Hobgoblin. I think I have a couple from previous sets in my armoire, but still not bad to have more. So that's number 10 of 42, your standard Hobgoblin. All right, the giant for this box, I'm really excited about, because that means I got, albeit one of them I had to buy separately, but this basically means I have both the Death Giants, which is really nice, which is a bit of a hint. You'll see it shortly. Whoops, sorry for the sound. See it shortly, but this is number 40 of 42, just your bog standard Death Giant, and this looks incredible. The face is absolutely insane. It looks so good. The eyes look amazing. The cool spectral scythe, which is a very common theme in Death Giants. You're going to see another one later, and I can guarantee that because it's got its own box. But it's just gorgeous. Like this is so beautifully well done, and definitely lives up to the giant aspect. I mean, if you put a medium miniature next to it, it's going to look dwarfed compared to the size of this thing. It's beautifully sculpted. I love the kind of just very, it's not dynamic, but it's got enough kind of like attitude to it to where it looks really cool. The armor is very well done. This is a rare for sure because it's 40. But I love the scythe. The clear plastic is always nice on a model. And I love that they've started doing the clear bases as well, because it makes it kind of immerses if you use props on the table more. But yeah, I love this model. I'm so excited. I was looking forward to all the giants that I'm going to get in this, and I'm excited that this is what we're starting out with. What a great first box. I mean, can't ask for much more than some great commons and an amazing rare. So wow. Yeah, that's number 40 of 42, the Death Giant, and boy, does she look good. All right, to our second box. It was kind of hard to pick which was the lighter and which was the heavier, because they're all pretty heavy, and again, that's because most of this is giant themed. So we're gonna have a lot of giant themed creatures and miniatures, I can only assume. Yeah. Again. But we're gonna go through everything in kind, and then we will get to that large, which might require some assembly. First, let's get through our mediums, and then we will get to the big one for this set. Start with you, smallest. All right. So, first miniature of our second box is going to be 16 of 42, Elf Druid, Circle of the Primeval, which is a new subclass that came out in this book, if I recall correctly. It's a very well done model. It's very simple, but it's got a really nice pose to it, minus the bending that's currently happening because of the plastic that they use. But it's very well done. The face is actually surprisingly detailed for what it is, and how small it is, especially in a set with much larger things that have also very beautiful faces. The paint job is nice. It's got good color coordination, and she's very stylish, or he. It's a very androgynous elf. But yeah, stuff like this is awesome, and this still, I think, is in the common range. Again, just really great to have NPCs to throw in, or like use as characters that your players are fighting against. Just a really, really good model. I was really, like I said, excited for this set because of the giants, but also the commons in here are incredible. I'm trying to be better at not looking ahead to see what I could possibly get. I want to be surprised when I open these, so you guys are sharing in my excitement as I get them. But yeah, this is a great model. I'm super, super impressed by the paint jobs that have been coming out as of recently from Wizkids models. And yeah, it's just great. So that's number 16 of 42, the Elf Druid, Circle of the Primeval. All right, next up we have number 7 of 42, which is a common, and it's just an orc, just a standard orc. The paint job is actually fairly nice on this. The movement of the mini is also very, very nice. I thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, the face is a little wonky, but again, it's hard to get really, really detailed stuff on here. However, the nails are painted almost perfectly, so I might scratch what I just said. But another great common to have multiples of. Like, again, I like when they have sets like this where they are expanding on a specific style of enemy, but giving you commons that may not be necessarily in line with that enemy, but still are great miniatures that kind of flock out and fill the rest of the set. And this is one of them. NPC, PC, or creature. If you have an orc warband that's coming across the party, it would be a great miniature for that. But yeah, really well done on the paint job. Super, super impressed by stuff so far, which has been really nice. And very impressed with the commons that they have in the set, which I hope I get more of. Whoop. Well, I say I hope I get more of, and then I drop it, but That's number 7 of 42. Yeah, 7 of 42, the orc. All right, last medium for this set is number 12 of 42, a Sky Tower Goliath. Gorgeous mini. Paint job is pretty decent. He's a very covered character, but comparatively to an elf, which usually has a stature of, 5 or 6 feet, whereas Goliath can get upwards of, anywhere between 7 and 10 feet. You can tell the Goliath is actually quite larger in this set than in previous sets, and definitely has the stature of what you would assume a giant kin would have. He's definitely covered, so he's probably more of a northern climate lad, and the Warhammer that he has slung on his back right now is pretty gnarly, but really, really nice. An interesting choice to go with the metallic for the whole belt. I definitely probably would have gone with a like a leather or something, but not bad. And again, I have Goliaths in my game because I'm running a giant game, and this will be very nice as a proxy mini for an NPC or something like that, which is really, really cool. And height accurate. Like he's probably, based on the size of the others, he's probably about 9 feet tall, maybe 8, but you can tell, and that's really cool. And I love when the minis are in proper scale to the minis around them. So that's number 12 of 42, the Sky Tower Goliath. And yeah, he's a big boy. All right, the big one for this box, some assembly required, so pause with me for a second while I grab this. But if you would, to get my spiel out of the way, if you would subscribe to the channel and like the video, it really helps me out. And I'm trying to grow this business and my brand, so any help that you could give me is appreciated. So if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, and honestly, as well, if you could let me know below what mini you liked out of the set and what you're excited for coming forward. I know the next one I think is Season Shores, which is coming out next, which we will be doing a review on. But just help me out how you can. I would appreciate it. And if you want to grab a mini off the website, feel free. I do have commission slots available pretty consistently, so just let me know and I will do what I can to help you. So thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. But without further ado, number 32 of 42, the Fire Hellion, which did require some assembly. I just had to put the arm with the really, really pretty mace torch thing on it. These are fire giants who commit to devil or demon worship. The mini itself is gorgeous. I am blown away by the detail and the work that they've been doing on the larger minis recently. There's just such beautiful detail on it, but also like the painting is very well done. Like this is what I would expect from it's definitely not like you're not gonna win a competition with it, but it is definitely just a step above tabletop ready. This is something that if I were to paint, like I might change a few things, add some highlights in places, but I can't knock them for that because they're not a personal business that is painting minis to my specifications. They're mass producing these, like I said. But even still, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful mini. And again, the translucent plastic is so important. Like having these little details of, fire or things like that just on the mini just add to the ambiance of it when you put it on the table, which is always so nice. So super excited to have this one in the armoire, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And that's number 32 of 42, the Fire Hellion. Damn. 2 boxes and 2 absolute swings and hits on the larges. I don't think I'm gonna get a single one of a large or rather a huge that I won't like, but so far it's been really really good. That'll bring us on to box number 3. Yep. It's definitely a giant themed set for sure. If we do get any duplicates, which is possible, uh, I will say that we got a duplicate, and then we will probably just move on after that. You'll probably see a small video of the duplicate, and then we'll continue on. But first of this one, we're gonna go with this mini, which is number 14 of 42, the giant lynx. There were a lot of giant beasts that were added into this, but don't be confused. They are actually not beasts. They are fey creatures, which means that, if I'm not mistaken, most druids cannot wild shape into them. However, this guy is very well painted. Very, very beautiful. I'm a big cat lover. I have snakes, cats, geckos. I've got everything. But yeah, it's a very well done paint job. It's like bluish, and that's kind of feeding into that kind of fey aspect that these giant animals have. But I'm really impressed with the face and the striping. Having painted a tiger before and having to look at a reference photo, it's very difficult to kind of figure out how best to put stripes on there, but they did an excellent job at finding out and kind of putting it on the model. It looks stellar, and I'm super happy to have something like this, because who knows, my party might at some point end up in the Fae. But yeah, really cool giant lynx, and super happy to have it in my repertoire and armoire and horde. But that's number 14 of 42. Super cool. Go with this one next. Number 11 of 42, another hobgoblin. This one is different though from the previous one. The other one was 10. This one's 11. Usually what they do is they'll do like a 10A, 10B if it's got a different if like one of them has a weapon and the other one doesn't. This one is just a different one because it's a completely different pose and completely different weapon. This is a ranged attacker with a bow, an arrow, and quiver. And much like the last hobgoblin, it's a great thing to have in your kind of horde of minis. Having things like this makes it so that there are different styles of miniatures on the board if you use miniatures, which I always appreciate, because having the same miniature over and over and over again doesn't always hit the best unless they're the same, like they don't really look any different. But having something of a party that does, like, where there's martial types but also range types, like having different miniatures for each of those types of creatures is very, very nice. And I do appreciate the level of detail and paint job on this one particularly. So really, really cool mini. Super excited to add it with the other hobgoblin that I have. But this is another hobgoblin, but a ranged hobgoblin at number 11 of 42. So yeah. All right. Last medium / large / humanoid of this set. We've got number 25 of 42, a Goliath Giantkin. This guy looks really, really good. The paint job is excellent. I love the tattoo work on the side that kind of bleeds into the lightning coming off of the spear. The lightning kind of tattoo work that goes into the spear is just really good painting. Planning ahead and kind of adding to the dynamicism of the model itself. It's got a beautiful pose. The hair is flowing in the wind. The armor is very, very well painted. So is the shield and the face. All around, just a really great model. Really, really impressed with the work so far that we've seen in this set on painting. Yeah, they've been doing such great work. And I'm so excited with all of the stuff that they have had coming out, because it's made it to where I can put my minis next to the minis that Wizkids makes, and it's hard to, you can definitely tell the difference, but it immerses better that they look at least somewhat similar. But yeah, Really, really cool mini. I love the color choices on it. And again, just very, very well painted. I cannot stress enough how awesome it is that the motif of the lightning bleeds into the spear. That's just good planning on making a miniature. It makes it so that it kind of you reinforce the idea that this is probably a storm giant offspring as a Goliath. So that is number 25 of 42, the Goliath Giantkin. It's just really, really, really good. All right. The huge of this box is number 37 of 42, a Stone Giant of Evil Earth. Yet again, just a great, great mini. I love that they added in these kind of callbacks to previous modules that they had done, specifically Elemental Evil. They were like, what if giants started following the Elemental Evils and joined like the cults and things like that? And this is a stone giant that has joined the cult of Evil Earth. And it just looks incredible. The stone, like, bits of armor that it's wearing just look really, really cool with some of the like obsidian or iron deposits like coming out of it. The movement of the model and the dynamicism is just incredible. It just looks really, really good. One thing I would have done is probably added just some like dark shading to the recesses to kind of give them more of a shadowed look. But honestly, the way that they look now kind of almost helps out with the stone effect of like refracting light off of it. The small little details in the stonework that it's also wearing is also just really, really nice. All in all, just a great model. It's really, really pretty. And again, I'm so happy to have weird, like, stone armored stone giants. You don't think about that stuff until like it comes up in game where you're like, you know, what if I want something to look a specific way? And this is one of those things where it's just like really, really cool. So really, really happy with this one. And another great huge to the collection of huges that we have so far. But it's number 37 of 42, the Stone Giant of Evil Earth, which I think might be a rare as well. I'm not 100% certain. I've stopped looking up specifics, but all right, fourth box. We are almost halfway through our brick, and this is the last of the light boxes before I get into the heavier boxes. Oh, another great model as our large. Let's get these mediums out of the way first. Running out of space up here. It's okay. I think we have a duplicate. We do. We have two duplicates. So we'll get those out of the way first. Again, not bad duplicates to have, especially for low-level play. We'll get those out of the way quick, and then we'll get to our new one for this box in medium. So for our duplicate, first duplicate, we have 10 of 42, another Hobgoblin, more of a martial Hobgoblin. Again, I was, as I said before, really happy that these are commons because you're probably going to get a few of them in a brick. And I was right. So just great to have multiple of these, especially for low level encounters. Like if you're having a goblin camp and you want to have like hobgoblin captains, or have like a couple of hobgoblins who are like leaders, and then have a big battle where it's like a bunch of goblins and a couple of hobgoblins, having a few of these is really, really nice. So super happy to have another one of that. Number 10 of 42. Another hobgoblin, and then another 17 of 42, the giant poisonous snake. Same thing as before. This one looks slightly darker, but the same kind of gist in the paint style. Just really pretty. Again, I'm gonna really love the fact that they made the head shape that of an actual venomous snake, which is really, really nice. Really well done paint job. Super happy about it. And definitely something when you have lower level parties, a couple of giant poisonous snakes is never bad to have as many. So another 17 of 42. giant poisonous snake. And to end our mediums for this box very quickly, almost halfway through, I made the comment and then it just kind of went by. We've got number 3 of 42, the Shrieker, which is a mushroom fungal type creature that, if I recall correctly, is basically like an alarm for myconids, where if you come within a certain range, it yells out and makes a very large shrieking sound that goes out to about 300 feet. It's a mushroom. It looks good for a mushroom. They've definitely done mushrooms that aren't as good. I do appreciate the fact that they are kind of adding these as minis that you can get in boxes. Obviously, if it's not your thing and you don't use a lot of mushrooms, it may not be your favorite, but they had the violet fungus, I think, last box set or the box set before that. And now they have the Shrieker, which is just, it's fun to have, you know, they're good for dressing caverns. If you have, like, even if they're not exactly what they are in that cavern setup that you have on your table, they can still be used as just kind of cavern dressing, which is really, really nice. So I love the model, super excited. It's common, so I'm kind of hoping I get another one just in case, because again, set dressing my maps is one of my favorite things to do. But that is number 3 of 42, the Shrieker. All right, and our big in for this set, sorry about the sound. Our big in for this set, going with the theme, every single one we've gotten so far, the large has been a giant. This is number 33 of 42, a Frostmourne. I love frost giants. I've thrown frost giants in almost every campaign I've played in, and this one is absolutely incredible. It's like an undead frost giant. It's really, really, really pretty. I love the axe. I love the like translucent aspect of like the dress that it's wearing. The color scheme is very frost giant coded. The face sleeves a little bit to be desired, but overall it's a great model. It's really, really pretty. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. I know that there was some, I think with the Frostmourne and the other frost giant that they added in that wasn't a frost giant of Evil Water, I think is that one. There was some backlash on the AI aspect of that art. And I'm not a big fan of AI art. So I didn't know how to necessarily feel about these creatures. The stat blocks are really cool though. And even this is a very interesting and beautiful model that is a 3D sculpt of what this creature is supposed to be. So super, super happy with this. Again, the paint job isn't the best that we've seen so far, but it's also not even close to the worst that we've seen over Brick by Brick as a whole. And definitely a cool model that I'm excited to have in the system, like a gaunt, undead, giant queen. Yeah, super, super cool. And that's number 33 of 42, the Frostmourne. I love these models. They're so, so pretty. All right, on to our 5th box, and starting with the heavier of the boxes, halfway done with our brick. Exciting. I'm interested to see what these heavier, oh God. I know about this one because it was on one of the videos that's happening. Looks like we have another duplicate, but we'll get into the large after we get through. We've got 2 dupes. Yeah, 2 dupes, it looks like, which will, again, same as last box, we'll get through relatively quickly. And then we'll get on to the new medium that we have in this box. So the first of the 2 duplicates is number 16 of 42, the Elf Druid Circle of the Primeval. Same as last time, this one is also just as well painted. It looks really, really pretty, and a great set dressing for like a tavern or something like that, because it's not Druid in the aspect of, at least from what I can sense from what I see of it, it's not Druid in the aspect of like very earth toned and things like that. which means it makes a great NPC, which I'm sure is what they were thinking of when they were considering making these, is making sure that they fit in other places, not just as what they are. So that's our first dupe of this box. And then the second duplicate of this box is another 12 of 42 Sky Tower Goliath. Again, really, really well done. Looks identical to the other one. Super happy to have a couple of these, especially if like you have like a Goliath warband or Goliaths up in like the northern part climate of your world. Having a few of these as kind of like set dressing or NPCs or what have you, miners, because they have the hammers, would be super important and fun to have. So that's number 12 of 42 Sky Tower Goliath, second dupe. Our new one of this is number 9 of 42, similar to the 11 and 10 situation. This is number 9 of 42, another orc, just in a different pose. This one is more of a, looks like, kind of unarmed fighter. I think it's based off of the artwork for just regular orcs. It looks very similar to some of the artwork that I've seen in like the monster manual, I think, on orcs. But again, really great to have different setups for creatures like these and different looks, especially if you're throwing multiple of them. Because if you have all of them looking the same, one, coming from experience, if you're trying to remember which one is which on the board, it's very difficult. So having them look different helps out you as a DM, but also helps kind of immerse the players into the story, having just a differently looking miniature representing a similar creature to another one that's on the table. So great mini. Paint job is, again, very well done for what it is, and super excited to have it in the setup. So that's number 9 of 42, the orc B, I guess you could say. All right, the big boy for this set is, they were showing this on some videos on D&D Beyond, and it's really gnarly. I was not surprised when I opened it why it was so heavy, but this is number, I actually have to, I can't see it very well. This is number 35 of 42, the Maw of Yinogu. This is basically what happens when a hill giant, who is all based on hunger, follows the demon lord of hunger, Yinogu, and basically becomes a large-mouthed, voracious eater, hyena hybrid creature. I love the fact that out of 5 of the boxes that we've gotten so far, every single one has been one of the giants that has kind of been added in this book. But this one is also just really, really cool. It's kind of funky looking and terrifying at the same time. The paint job is all right. It's not the best. It's very, very flesh toned, which a lot of hill giants are, with not a lot of shading. But that is okay, because I think that's the point. It's not going to have a lot of spaces or roles for you to have shading in when it's gorging itself on anything it can get its hands on to eat, or its mouth around, for better phrasing. You're going to have pretty tight, taut skin with not a lot of shading. So honestly, it kind of works out really well. I like the spots from the hyena aspect of Yinogu. The mouth is terrifying and wonderful. The eyes are black, like those eyes. But yeah, really, really well done. And just, I'm so excited. Even if I don't put any of these in my home game, I will find a way to use them, because they are terrifying and fun, and I love miniatures so much. I'm sure you can tell by the fact that I have printers and paint and stuff like that. So great, great mini. And that's number 35 of 42, the Maw of Yinogu. All right, on to box number 6. Out of 8. I guess technically out of 10, because I've got the extra minis I'm also doing. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching. If you're still here, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking, it means the world to me. Oh, wow. We got a duplicate on the large, which I guess we could just get out of the way. I was not expecting to get a duplicate of large or huges. I guess it's because there's only about 42 in the set. Usually there's about 45 to 50. But it's number 33 of 42, another Frostmourne. This one is a little bit better painted. But still really, really cool. Don't know what I'm going to do with two of these. Might give one to a friend or have it as a giveaway or something. But still really, really cool mini. Super excited to have one. Definitely excited to have two. Don't know if I'll be able to use two, like I said, but we'll figure something out. That's number 33 of 42, a duplicate Frostmourne. All right, getting into the... Oh, I was hoping I got at least one of those. Another duplicate in the mediums, which again is completely fine because they're commons. All right, so two new mediums. Oh, so cool. Okay, two new mediums and a duplicate medium. We'll get that one out of the way real quick. We've got another 9 of 42, another orc B, I will say, the unarmed one. It is never bad when your commons are enemies that you can throw many of at a party. Having multiples is always great. Never be frustrated with that because you never know when you're going to have to throw multiples of an enemy at a party that's level, 7 or above. So super happy to have another orc. B, 9 of 42. God, which way? I'll do this one first. It's less of a paint. Number 1 of 42, which I'm glad I got one because this is the most common, is a giant tick, which I loved the idea of. Why not? Why wouldn't there be creatures that get gigantism because they feed off the blood of giants? And that is exactly what a tick does. A tick feeds off of the blood of creatures and grows and gets big because it's full of blood. And this one just happens to be one that tends to be around giants. So it is big. It is big, red, bulbous, and full of blood, and a really cool mini. And I know it's gross to have wanted one of these, but I think that they're so cool. I love when creatures are part of an ecological system surrounding a specific style of monster. And that's what ticks are. Ticks are ecological creatures. They're parasites. And why wouldn't they grow bigger to be on giants who have a lot of blood? But yeah, just really, really cool. Even if I don't use it as a giant tick, you could use it as like a fat spider if you really wanted to, but I just love it. And it's the most common at 1 at 42, but giant tick, you have my heart. Another great miniature, number 13 of 42, the bag jelly. I love oozes so much. My wife is a huge gelatinous cube fan. And this is just an ooze that sits in a giant's bag and watches over its treasures and eats organic material as it gets thrown in there. Some of them are kept as pets. Some of them are pests and are not wanted. But it's a really, really cool mini. It's dynamic because the jelly is actually coming out of the bag and you can see some of the coins that the giant has. And if you look into it, you can actually see that there's, at least what it looks like, more coins inside underneath the translucent plastic of the bag jelly. So that's really, really, really cool. I love miniatures like this. It's so dumb. It's like, it's the best thing to be like, all right, you defeated this giant and his party of goons. Now you get the loot, and a freaking jelly jumps out of a bag at you and attacks you. Just love that idea. Great mini, great model, beautifully done. Paint is actually really, really well done on this one as well. But I love that translucent plastic, and I love oozes, and I love you, number 13 of 42, the bag jelly. All right, our two heaviest boxes. Definitely one that's heavier than the other. So we're going to go with this one first. Box number 7 of 8. Oh, we got a new large. So excited about that one. Again, I read the book before I bought, I read the book when it came out, and I bought the brick when I heard that they were making minis for this, because I love minis, and I love the Wizkids sets because they're official artwork and just gorgeous, and it means I don't have to paint, which sometimes is very nice. Looks like we got another semi-duplicate, similar to the Orc and the Hobgoblin, but we'll go through, and everything is new in this box, which is really nice. All right, so we've got number 6 of 42, another Bugbear, this one in a different position than the other. This one has a battle axe that it's swinging over its head. Again, very simple on the paint job, not too much to look at, not too much to talk about. It's not bad. But yeah, it's a great mini. Again, I've already said it. I don't need to say it so many more times, but having different looks from similar creatures is always a good thing. And I love commons that are like this, because it means that now I have more creatures that I can throw at lower level parties or things of that sort for lower level parties. And it's really, really nice. I like the movement of this one. Mixed with the other one, it's really, really well done. So great addition to this set. And number 6 of 42, another Bugbear, just B version, if you will. All right, 2 new ones. We'll go with this one first. We've got number 19 of 42, a Goliath monk. Definitely looks like a monk. Very, very well done on the paint job. The tattoo work that comes along with Goliaths looks very, very nice. It's a very slim model with karate chop kung fu stance, but painted very, very well. I would have liked a little bit more movement in it, and it feels a little off proportion wise. Whereas the torso is very similar to a normal medium-sized model, the legs just feel very, very long, which, I mean, might play into the dexterous part of being a monk, but still a really, really cool model. Super, super happy with it. It's very well painted. I love the small detail work that they've done on this. It just makes it look absolutely incredible and adds so much to it. But yeah, the number 19 of 42, the Goliath monk. And it's always good to have like different races as different character classes. You never know when you're going to run into something that isn't a human or an elf or a dwarf or a gnome or the basic kind of well-known races in D&D. So the next one we have up, which is also a new one, is number 24 of 42, the Furbolg Wanderer. They added some more Furbolgs in this. It's got a pretty wonky face. It's given me the Furbolg stare. Paint job is all right. It's not the best. I do appreciate the tattoo kind of on the side of the arm. The face is definitely pretty derpy. But another stat block that was added, they just kind of expounded on, because Furbolgs are giant kin. They expounded on them as well a little bit in the book, which I loved, because Furbolgs are really, really, really cool, and should get some more attention. Like I said, the paint job definitely leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's not the worst that I've ever seen. Just with everything else, it's kind of, your sense of comparison kind of gets thrown off a little bit, because it is a decent paint job for what I've seen in the past, but with everything else that we've seen that's painted, it doesn't compare. So still a cool model I have. Great to have more Furbolgs in my horde of minis, and that's number 24 of 42, the Furbolg Wanderer. All right, our large for this is one I also was excited to see, which is number 36 of 42, a Spectral Cloud, which is like an undead cloud giant. The paint job's really well done on this because it doesn't take a lot. You just need that kind of dry brushing on the translucent plastic to really get that cloud effect. And then the kind of whites of cloud giants with the hair and the skull and things of that sort. I probably would have made the jewelry a metallic color and added some like shading or washes on the leather pieces. But other than that, it's a really, really good model. It is very, very pretty. It is a solid piece, which explains why it's in one of the heavier boxes. It is hollow on the inside, but it's still like solid in the fact that it weighs quite a bit. But yeah, it's a really cool. The stories behind some of these creatures where they basically made more undead, but like fancy undead giants, which is really, really nice, or fiendish giants or things of that sort, which I really appreciated. Just expanding on giants as a whole is really, really cool. So really excited about this model. Second to last on our larges, and 36 of 42, the Spectral Cloud. But yeah, really, really cool. All right, our last brick box before we get into the premium minis that I got as well. We have, all right, a duplicate on the large, which means that's it for the larges. The last one was our best, or last newest one. And we got a couple new mediums. Definitely a couple new mediums, but we'll go through the large real quick. Oh, the last huge for this set is a 35 of 42, another Mauve Yinogu. This one actually has a little bit more shading on it, and is a bit more pink, which is really cool and nice. But same as the last one, it is terrifying and fun. And now I kind of want to throw two at a party just because I have two of them. But yeah, really, really cool. Kind of bummed I didn't get another new one, but I've got those premium ones that are coming up. So just sit and wait for a second. I will go through all of the worst and best at the end of the brick. Because I will not count the premium ones. Those technically aren't included in buying a brick. So I will not be giving my opinion on those in regards to the brick as a whole. Because that's not fair. The premium boxes tend to have a little bit better paint job on them. And I want to give my honest review of the brick because this is brick by brick. It just happens that I was really excited about the giant, so I bought a lot of them. But that's another 3542 Mauve Yinogu. It looks like we got another semi-duplicate at 4 of 42, another Bugbear. So I've got 3 Bugbears that are all different, which is really, really cool. This one has like a mace style. Paint job is better than the other ones and looks really, really nice. Yeah, and it's really cool to have multiple looking the same. Again, great commons in this set. Super excited for the duplicates that I did get. Minus some of the giant ones, because I don't know if I'll ever throw more than one at those at a party. But you never know. And if you have a setup and you need to throw another one, you just never know. It's never bad to have them. But yeah, a great addition to the commons, and I'm super excited just to have multiple of these. The mace looks really nice. The movement of it looks really nice, and 3 separate of the same creature models is my favorite. So that's number 442. Bugbear, we'll say C. Bugbear C. All right, we'll go with this one. Number 8 of 42, an Orog, which I believe is a type of orc. So I kind of will lump this in with the orcs as well. The face is actually really well done. The paint job is also decent. You've got your, typical bending of the plastics with the weapons. But a really well done paint job. I don't know the specifics on the lore of these creatures. I'm almost positive though that they are orc adjacent. Really, really cool mini. And again, I'll lump it in with that kind of like, I got a couple of orcs. This is definitely something that goes with them. And a different model that is also common that can be used. I think they're just like beefier orcs that are higher in rank, if I recall, maybe. But nonetheless, still could be used just as an orc mini if you really wanted to, and not half bad on the paint job either. So that's number 8 of 42, the Orog, which is, again, just a really well done mini. Can always appreciate that. All right, last medium of the box, we have number 15 of 42, a Goliath Trickster. This has artwork in the book. This model is very well painted. Looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the tattoo work on it. Again, the tattoo work on the Goliaths in the set is absolutely incredible. The armor looks really, really cool. The pose is very mischievous, which leads into the trickster aspect. This could be a Goliath PC that is a cleric to a trickster god, and is in the trickery domain. But I do believe there is a stat block for this creature in the book, if I'm not mistaken. But again, a really, really well done model, definitely showing the height difference between what is considered a normal medium humanoid versus a larger medium humanoid. Definitely taller than most of the medium humanoids, and a very good addition to this set. Very well painted, as I said, and just looks absolutely incredible. Super happy to have this, and that's number 15 of 42, the Goliath Trickster, the last of the set. So we're gonna do worst paint job, least useful, best paint job, most useful, most excited. I'm gonna start with the worst. Give you the bad news first. The worst paint job is definitely the Furbolg Wanderer. It just does not compare to the rest of the set, which is absolutely gorgeous. They did a really good job. I had the opportunity to go to San Diego Comic-Con this year, and one of the guys working at the NECA booth, which is kind of the overarching company for Wizkids, was like, yeah, I work on the D&D models for Wizkids. And I was like, I'm super excited for this set. But yeah, with everything else that came out, that one just didn't live up to the standard of what I was expecting in the paint job. I'm going to have a really hard time picking the least useful because all of them are useful in some way or another. Especially the commons. And more importantly, the uncommons. I love it to death, but honestly, I think the least useful one that I probably won't use as much as I would wish to is the giant tick. It's a little too niche. And while it would be cool to have on the table, I just don't see myself getting a lot of use out of it. So not in a sense that like I wouldn't, but out of everything, I have to pick something that's the least useful. And that unfortunately is, even though I love the giant tick, that is definitely the least useful of this set. Best paint job. Big oof. What's the best paint job? Man, I was going to give it to one of the giants, but I think as a collective, I'm going to give the best paint job to all the, or one of the, yeah, giants. but as a collective, I'm going to give the best paint job to all the Goliaths. The tattoo work, the detail work on them is just absolutely incredible. And you, beyond the fact that they are taller than the other minis, the very, very typical adornment of the tattoos let you know that they are Goliaths. And they're just very, very well painted. Every single one of them that we got, the Trickster, the Monk, and the Giantkin, especially the Giantkin that has that kind of like lightning tattoo work down going into like the lightning aspect of the spear. Just really, really, really cool. And I love it. So that's definitely my best paint job. I'm not even going to be able to put them all probably on screen, but the most useful is going to be all the commons. The multiples and duplicates that we got, and semi-duplicates because they were different poses. The orcs, the bugbears, the hobgoblins, the Goliaths. Really, all of the commons in this set are the most useful to me. Because I can use many of them. I can use them as PCs, which means I don't have to paint, custom models for an NPC that might be there for a session or two. But I can also use them as, multiple enemies in different poses, which really adds to kind of the weird aspect of the table of immersion, like helping the players get immersed in the story by being like, yeah, this bugbear has a bow and arrow, and the miniature has a bow and arrow. Like, it helps with immersion, and it's a small thing, but it's important to me who likes to use minis at the table and be as immersive as possible. So, most excited to use, I also don't think I can get them all up on screen. All of the new giants. I love giants. I think they are amazing. And I love the death giants and all of the weird, like, undead aspects of giants. The demonic fire giant. I love that idea. I just love all of the weird, wacky, and zany creatures. Like, I love odd stat blocks. They're just fun. They're just fun to throw at a party because more common than not, you're going to have a party that understands the base stat block of something. And when you throw something like that at them, they might know some things, but they definitely don't know all of them. So giants are definitely my most useful. Highly recommend getting a brick of this set, especially if you enjoy giants like I do. A great brick. A lot of duplicates, a couple duplicates from the huges, which I was surprised about, but honestly I'm not upset about. But definitely well worth the money, and super excited to have it. So that is the review of the brick. Now, as a little special treat, I'm going to go through the extra sets of giants that I was able to also get, which is the limited edition box set and the Death Giant Necromancer, which will be our last one for this video, because that is the one that is, in my opinion, one of the coolest minis that I have ever seen. But we're going to go through and do these limited edition box set giants first. There's 3 of them with an extra and it's ironic because actually I may have done a goof. I don't need to show you these because it comes with a giant lynx and a Goliath chief. That's the only new one, but the other ones I already have them, so I did do a goof. I got another fire hellion, another frostmourne, and another stone giant of evil earth with the Goliath chief and another giant lynx, so I did do a goof. This one, however, I know that I did not get because I don't think you can get this one in the box set. I think this is an only premium figure. And it is gorgeous, if I do say so myself. Oh, so pretty. All right, so sorry it's not as long as I thought it was going to be, but sorry for the sound as well. Your last mini for this video is the Death Giant Necromancer that looks absolutely haunting. I love the addition of Death Giants. I know that they were an older idea, but this is a gorgeous miniature. The paint job is very well done on it, which I would hope. The spirits surrounding the Death Giant are absolutely incredible. The scythe is terrifying, and it is just unsettling to look at in the best way possible. I love Death Giants, and I was super happy that we opened up with getting the Death Giant that has the weird spectral scythe, and then getting a Death Giant that has another weird spectral scythe that looks completely different and is surrounded by spirits. So beautifully well done miniature. Well worth the price if it's something that you are interested in throwing at your party or having available for your party to go against. And haunting all at the same time. The eyes especially just staring off into the distance. It's absolutely incredible. Well worth it. Super excited about this set. And ever appreciative of those of you who sat along and watched the entire video of me reviewing this set of miniatures, Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. A book that I've been looking forward to, a set that I've been looking forward to, and one that I hope you were able to enjoy as I led you along the way and showed you all of these amazing minis that have come out recently. So thank you very much for watching. Welcome to the New Wheelers Minis. I appreciate all of you who have been here from the beginning. I hope that this content is still of interest to you. I'm going to keep doing it because I love buying minis and getting these bricks. Be sure to stay tuned for a lot of stuff coming up, dealing with a lot of the things that are right here. I'm going to be doing a video on the paints that I have, as well as some of the new stuff that I've got for the office that has helped my miniature painting and my business grow. So thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and telling me what mini you enjoyed seeing the most throughout this set, I would definitely appreciate it. Until next time, we're just going to keep doing this brick by brick. Thanks, guys.